What's up, you freaking geniuses? So, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to divide a fraction by a whole number. And I'm also going to do whole numbers divided by fractions. So, let's start with this one right here. 2/3 divided by 5. How would we solve this? Well, your first step here is going to be writing this out like a normal division problem. So, for example, if I had 4/7, this is equal to 4 divided by 7, right? All I did was divide the numerator by the denominator. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to divide the numerator by the denominator. So I'm going to rewrite this as our numerator, 2/3 divided by, right, divided by our denominator, 5. Okay, now we're almost done rewriting this problem. One last thing we have to do is write 5 as a fraction. So how can we do that? Well, if you ever want to write a whole number as a fraction, just put it over 1, okay? And why do you do that? Well, 5/1 is the same thing as 5 divided by 1, right? And what's 5 divided by 1? Well, it's just 5, right? So when we put 5/1, we're not changing its value, right? It's still just 5, okay? So that's why we put it over 1. Okay, so now we have 2/3 divided by 5/1. Now what do we do? Okay, here's a useful little acronym you can use. KFC, which stands for keep, flip, change. KFC. So this tells us how we divide fractions. So all we're going to do is keep this first fraction up here. We're going to flip this second fraction over here, and then we're going to change the sign right here. Okay, so let's do all that. So this is going to equal, remember, we're going to keep the first one, so 2/3 stays as 2/3. Then we're going to flip the second one, so 5/1 becomes 1/5. And then lastly, this division sign right here, we're going to change that into a multiplication sign. Okay, so now we're just left with 2/3 times 1/5. Multiplying fractions together is way easier than trying to divide them because all you have to do is multiply straight across. Okay, so let's multiply the top first. What's 2 times 1? That's going to be 2. Okay, so we have a 2 on top. And then what's 3 times 5? 15. Okay, so here we have 2/15. So the original problem, 2/3 divided by 5 is equal to 2/15. Okay, now let's try another example where we're going to have this whole number on top this time. Okay, so here we have 5 divided by 2/3. So how are we going to do this? Well, again, our first step is just going to be rewriting this as a normal division problem. So it's just the numerator divided by the denominator, right? So the numerator is 5, and then that's divided by, right? Divided by 2/3. 2/3. Okay, now before doing this division problem, we have to turn 5 into a fraction again. And how do you do that? Again, you just put it over 1. Okay, so now we have 5/1 divided by 2/3. So now that I have my division problem set up, I'm going to write my acronym, KFC. So we're going to have K, okay, for keep. So we're going to keep this first one. F means flip the second one. And then C means change your sign right here. So this is going to be equal to, remember, we're going to keep the first one, so 5/1 stays as 5/1. We're going to flip the second one, so 2/3 becomes 3/2. And then again, this division sign is going to turn into a multiplication sign. Okay, so now we have 5/1 times 3/2. When you multiply fractions, you just multiply straight across. So what's 5 times 3? That's equal to 15, okay? And that's going to go over, what's 1 times 2? That's just 2. Okay, so the original problem, 5 divided by 2/3 is equal to 15/2. Alright guys, so that's how you divide fractions by whole numbers and vice versa. I hope the video was helpful. If it was, definitely leave a thumbs up down below. And if you still have more questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll do my best to try and help you out. Also, there's a playlist attached at the end of the video. So if there's any other topics you need help with, definitely go check that out, and I'll see you there.